You can't make this stuff up. But Trump apparently is. Joining me now, Jennifer Rubin, MSNBC political analyst, opinion writer at The Washington Post, and author of Resistance: How Women Saved Democracy from Donald Trump. And Anthony Coley is back with me. I'm not going to waste any of our 6 minutes talking about what he just said. I want to talk about what Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida had to say on Sunday Morning Futures. And you know you're in trouble when you're being corrected by Maria Bartiromo. Watch this.
You could tell that Joe Biden comes in, he's jacked up, and then as the hour goes by, he slowly winds down. So the American people need to understand if they're giving him some injection so that he can actually look like he's coherent and he's with us, because the other parts of the time he's not.
Well, I just want to say, look, these are obviously very serious charges that he's jacked up. We don't know. We're not doctors. We have no idea.
Jennifer, come on.
Yeah, this is the new Republican thing, because Biden did so well at the State of the Union, they have to make up a story, which is that he's jacked up. It is also becoming the excuse that Donald Trump will use, I suspect, to get out of the debates, because now he wants people drug tested.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's not happening, and Donald Trump is just playing chicken. He knows he can't hold it together for a full 90 minutes or 2 hours, so he's looking for excuses.
Jonathan, let me just say this. We just saw the Morehouse commencement. This is supposed to be the day when we are celebrating black male excellence. And you have to go play this clip of...
I'm sorry.
Come on, man. So, listen, my hope here is that this guy reassesses the image that he is putting out into the world. And that when he makes political attacks, as he tries to climb this conservative ladder, that he does so in a way that is honest and is authentic. And that's rooted in some truth without debasing himself.
Oh, see, for a minute there, I thought you were talking about Trump. Ooh, you just dragged Byron Donalds.
Black male excellence today, man.
Right. Well, let's talk about another. Well, this is neither black male nor excellence. This is Senator Marco Rubio on Meet the Press. Just listen to the question that Kristen Welker asks him, and then listen to his answer.
Will you accept the election results of 2024 no matter what happens, Senator?
No matter what happens? No, if it's an unfair election, I think it's going to be contested by either side.
Senator, no matter who wins.
I think you're asking the wrong person. The Democrats are the ones that have opposed every Republican victory since 2000. Every single one. It's Hillary Clinton.
No Democrat has refused to concede. Hillary Clinton conceded. Senator, will you accept the election results?
Hillary Clinton said the election was stolen from her.
Hillary Clinton conceded the race, which is what Kristen Welker pushed back on. We could not play you the entire back and forth. But Jennifer, is he auditioning for vice president? Is that why
why he looks so ridiculous? Yes. I'm old enough to remember when he was a serious person, when he was in favor of immigration, when he wanted to be an alternative to Trump. Remember, he ran against him. This is just pathetic. I think he has lost all self-respect. He is now groveling. And frankly, when they do this, they betray their own oath. They take an oath to the Constitution. And part of that Constitution is that you will accept and support the peaceful transfer of power. They are setting up another January 6th. He should be ashamed of himself, although he has no shame. But more importantly, the constituents of Florida and the United States more generally should listen to these people. They are incapable of fulfilling their oaths of office.
You know, Anthony, one of the things in an interview that the president did, I can't remember who he did it with, but it was recently, where he was asked, you know, are you concerned about whether Trump is going to accept the election results? And the president said flat out, oh, he's not going to accept the results. And as scary as his response was, it actually comforted me, because it told me the president sees what's coming. That means his administration sees what's coming, which means that his campaign sees what's coming. And so we're about to go through hell, but at least everybody's eyes are open.
That's right. And Jennifer just hit the nail on the head there. You're planting the seeds right now to contest this election. The other thing that he said that was that actually ticked me off a little bit, he said that Democrats had opposed every election since 2000. We've talked about Hillary Clinton. I worked on the Gore campaign from the Iowa caucuses through the Florida recount. And on December 13th, 2000, the U.S. Supreme Court right up the street shut it down. right? I didn't like it. Al Gore didn't like it. And millions of our supporters didn't like it. But you know what? Al Gore accepted the results of the election and he moved on. And that's what